Have the envelope, please.
And the Oscar for Best Picture is presented to...
And the Oscar goes 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 to...
And the Oscar goes...
And the Oscar goes... And the Oscar goes to...
The Oscar goes to...
The Oscar goes to...
And the Oscar goes to...
The Oscar goes to...
And the Oscar goes to...
And the Oscar goes to...
And the Oscar goes to...
So, welcome to No Time for Movies, where we aspire to be the greatest movie podcast online. And today, we have a special episode where we're going to talk about our final predictions for the Oscars, which happen tomorrow at 5. Is it 5 Pacific?
5 Pacific.
Yeah, so today we got Lucky Boy reviews once again. Lucas Parker, how's it been?
That's good, man. Yeah, that's always the biggest day of the year for me is the Oscars. Ever since I was a little kid, like I'm not kidding, since I was like 5 years old, the whole day I don't get out of my pajamas. I just wake up, I get in front of the TV, I watch all the red carpet events, like all the everything that goes on for the Oscars all day. Like I'm just in front of the TV, I order in food and just wait for the show to start.
Yeah, you know, like when I was younger, like me and my family would do the same. But recent years I stopped watching it, but I've gotten back into it. So I'm excited for this one though, because I've watched a lot of it, and then a lot of it is really good.
This is like the best year for competition we've had in years. Like it's, almost every movie that's been nominated, I wouldn't be upset if any of them won Best Picture. Like I have ones that I want to win, but I'm not upset if other films actually take the spot. So
yeah. I feel the same way. It's like a lot of them could be like toss-ups between.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll get into it. Let's start the first one. Let's start from. I say we start from short films. What do you think?
Yeah, sure.
Let's see. I don't think I've seen many of these. I'm sure you. Oh, I saw Kit Bull. That's a good one.
It was so good.
Yeah.
Wait,
have you seen all of those?
Did that premiere before a movie? Did that before Frozen or
I know
something
I watched
that?
it once Disney Plus came out, and they have all the shorts on there. And I just binge watch all the shorts on there, and that was on there. Yeah.
Dude, it's kind of an intense short. It's about an abused dog who gets put in a bull or a dog fighting ring and gets kicked down the stairs. And I'm like, for a little kid to kind of watch that, I feel like it's really intense.
It is.
But so I didn't know if it was because I had never seen it anywhere. I didn't actually see it until I watched all the shorts, and then I was like, this is Pixar. It seems a little heavier than what I'm used to from them. But it was absolutely dude. When I was in the theater, people were bawling. My fiance was hysterically crying by the end of it. I was just like, damn, they did that's what Pixar does best.
Yeah,
but
it is true.
That's what I hope is gonna win, just because it is so good. But a lot of those I actually went home, and a lot of them are actually on YouTube, all the animated shorts.
Yeah,
you can actually find them on YouTube, and same with the live action shorts.
Yeah, actually I saw your post about it, and then you actually said you could find them most on YouTube. I just been trying to catch up on everything else.
Yeah, I know. And a lot of them well, that's the thing is, because I'll actually make it a point each year, because once they started releasing all the shorts in theaters, they'll do it a week before the Oscars. And so I was it's kind of fun for me to go up. I'll literally movie hop from the animated to the live action. And it's a good 4 hours, because they show some that didn't actually get nominated, but they just show the runners up basically.
Yeah.
It's the most depressing 4 hours. I would leave the theater, I'm always and every year I kind of forget that it's how depressing it is, because all the shorts, it's to be nominated almost has to be this super emotional, weighty topic.
Yeah.
And it's yeah, so when you're watching these films back to back to back, like I'll leave the theater, I'm like, that was ridiculous. Like I don't feel good at all. There's always like one kind of light one, but most of them are like really heavy subject matter.
Yeah.
That's like, I mean, I guess that's more serious in tone, so that's why it's Oscar nominated. But I'm like, dude, is there no like funny short films being made?
Yeah, I mean, even I don't know if you've seen one called Float. I know it's not on here, but I did see it on Disney Plus with the baby that like flies around. That one was sad too. I'm like, none of them are very happy movies.
Yeah. Like I'm looking at this list again, and just even Hair Love, that one was really good too. That was like a Sony Animation one. It's about like a little African American girl who's like hair is all unruly and she's like trying to comb it. And she's watching like YouTube videos about it, and then her dad steps in to like come in and help her with it, but he can't figure it out, so he keeps trying to like just put a beanie on her, and she's like no, like she's trying to like, and then and then it turns out like the videos she's been watching are like of her mom, and her mom used to do hair, and then they end up seeing her in the hospital and she has cancer and has lost all her hair. And I'm like, so that one was pretty good too. I mean, that one definitely aimed to it's cute and funny, but even at the end you're just like, God, man, they gotta make it really sad also. So
yeah, most of them are. I mean, from what I hear though, like for filmmakers, for at least brand new filmmakers, it's easier to make a short film and like get it into like festivals and stuff. Is that right?
I mean, that's kind of the route you go. Like that's like, so the most recent one. So did you see the movie Peanut Butter Falcon this year? Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was actually short, right? Yeah.
So yeah, the first film they did was called like The Moped Diaries, which you can actually find on YouTube also.
Yeah.
And that short was so good. Like you can just tell it's like a low budget thing, but it like you can just tell they're great storytellers. Like they use kind of cheap ways of doing things, but they do it in such clever, funny ways that it's like they're just making it work. So you could tell if they were given a budget, they're going to make a great story. And they ended up, from their short, it started winning some awards. And so they just got recognition. So then people see the potential to give them, it's really just building confidence and building like some credibility with people. So when you make a short, you're basically just showing your potential. Yeah. And then so and if it does well, then people feel more comfortable giving you more money it all just comes back to money. Everything always does. But so it's like, that's why the shorts, it's like really, it's just kind of a credibility thing.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I've heard. So your pick would be Kitbull then?
Of those. So yeah, I mean, the other ones had some beautiful like animation, but like I couldn't fully get into the stories. Like they were obviously very weighted, very heavy. Like you're watching them and I'm like, yeah, I can tell it's like very artistic, but it's like I had a hard time connecting with it. But when you watch Kitbull, I'm like, it's just, it's so good. Yeah. Like by the end, it's only 8 minutes and you just feel like you're on this emotional roller coaster. But, and especially people who just have pets, like it's a dog and a cat and like this little kitten. And it's just hilarious. They did a really good job. It is really good. Yeah, that's one I want to win.
Let's keep on rolling till we get to the good ones. Short film, live action though.
I'm putting The Neighbor's Window as the one that I think will win it. I think it was actually the only American film. There might have been one other American one, but that one, it's just a really great story as well. It's about like this middle-aged kind of couple who has like 3 kids. They live in a New York apartment, and this young couple moves in like next door. And like the first night, they just see them like going at it. They like keep having sex, and they can't stop watching them. And it kind of starts causing problems in their relationship because he'll catch like the husband in front of the window watching it. But then he catches his wife in front of the window. So they're always kind of like romanticizing this young couple. Yeah. And then takes a really crazy turn, and it's the message at the end of it is just, it's very poignant, especially like today, and just like this kind of Instagram culture, just comparing lives, all that stuff. So that one is really good. I think that'll win it. I'm
gonna have to check that one out because I missed that one.
That that one I hadn't never heard of it before I actually saw the nominee list. And then the NEFTA Football Club, that one was like the only kind of like lighthearted, really funny, and it's basically one long joke. Like, and the way it pays off at the end is pretty hilarious. Like, it's really good. It's about these two little kids, and they're somewhere in like a Middle Eastern country, and they find a Coke mule, and it like the kids take all the Coke and put it into like basically drive off with it on their motorcycle, and the little boy tries to sell it to like these two like kind of tough kids, and so it's the story of like kind of what happens with the Coke, and it's pretty hilarious. That one's really good. The other ones I actually really enjoyed the live action shorts more than the animated this year. Almost all of them were really good in their own way, but those two, Neighbor's Window is the best one, the one that I connected to the most. The NEFTA Football Club was the funniest. Brotherhood is really powerful, really emotional. That one, like, I can totally see why it got nominated, and the end of it is just like gut wrenching. It's pretty hard. It's pretty intense. Yeah. And then actually the other two I don't remember so much, but
these are all hard for me to even catch up on because I'm trying to catch up on like the main movies and films and all the rest.
Well, that's why with these ones, it's like some of them they're only like 8 minutes, so it's like you just got a minute to like watch it. But honestly, a lot of them you could kind of skip it. That's why I always just tell people about like the top two, like of each one. I'm like, these ones are worth seeing. Like, they're really funny or really clever. Like, you're gonna get something out of it. The other one that was, I think it was a sister one. Dude, that's like a true story about like these girls in like a Guatemala orphanage, and they're basically sex slaves, and it's kind of like sex trafficking. Dude, it's a true story too, and they have like this riot, like because there's boys in there also, and like the boys end up kind of like partnering with the girls, and they overtake the orphanage and they escape, but then they all get captured. And dude, it's an intense story also. That one, you end it and you're just like, oh god.
So next one is documentaries. I know it says short subject, but I'm kind of surprised that we didn't see Don't Fuck with Cats on here.
So the short subject documentary, I actually have not seen any of those. I have no idea. I literally don't even have an opinion on them. Oh wait, is it? Yeah. The only one that I have even heard of was Learning to Skateboard in a War Zone. So that's the only one I picked to win.
I've seen like a clip of that, but
I haven't seen any of the other ones. I don't even know what it is.
All right, well, skip that one then. Well, that's the part of the Oscars where we're gonna go be getting snacks. But visual effects. For best visual effects, we got Avengers Endgame, The Irishman, Lion King 1917, and Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker.
What did you put it to win?
Man, honestly, like, I think The Lion King.
See, I did Endgame just because it's the only thing it's really nominated for, and it's just such a huge movie.
You know, I was gonna go with Endgame before, and then right now that I was looking at the list, I was like, oh man, The Lion King could take it. I mean, Endgame I loved because just how the CGI looked in that, it looked so realistic.
Perfect. I mean, like when I was watching, when you see, look, when I was looking at like Thanos' face,
Thanos is the most impressive.
Literally, dude, I mean, it's so unbelievable what they're able to do. Like, you can see the pores in his skin and like this, like, I mean, the scars, like, I mean, everything looks so, I genuinely will never understand how they do it. Like, I don't get it. And I'm so glad that we live in an era where if you can imagine it, it's like any dream you could possibly think of, you can now like literally create it. And it looks so vivid and so real, and like just down to like the minor details, like, and with Endgame, I mean the Lion King, God, man, like the fact that that's all, literally the whole movie is basically CG.
That's why right now I saw it and I was like, because I remember Jon Favreau talking about the whole movie, even like landscapes are CGI, And there's only
Yeah,
like
yeah.
one clip in the beginning that's actually like real, but he
Yeah.
threw that in there
And-
just to test everyone, you know. But
Exactly.
and I was like,
Crazy?
you can't
Yeah.
tell.
No, not at all. I mean, it's so, and that movie was beautiful too. And like, yeah, I mean, they literally created animals like that
Yeah.
look. I mean, it's what we can do nowadays is crazy. I mean, that one could possibly win just because the only reason I have Endgame over it is just because it's the biggest movie of the year
Yeah.
of all time. Like,
Yeah.
so I just feel like whatever people are just gonna just give it some recognition, like anything. 'Cause,
I won't be mad
but
if it
yeah,
wins. I
the
mean,
Lion King definitely
Thanos
pushed
alone.
things.
Thanos
Which
alone
one?
was Endgame. Thanos alone was ridiculous how
Oh,
he
yeah.
looked.
Hmm.
Irishman, I mean, it wasn't
That's
the
not
greatest.
winning.
It wasn't the greatest CGI I've seen or de-aging.
No.
I think Disney did it better with their movies.
Yeah, and The Irishman jacked like Marvel's technology. Also, they
Yeah.
literally used their de-aging stuff. It's not like they were even the ones who created it or came up
yeah.
with it, and they didn't even use it properly. So I don't even know why they. Honestly, think they just nominated it purely because they like didn't want to embarrass the
Yeah.
people. Just, yeah, they're still trying to give it more credibility than I think it deserves.
Yeah, I'm actually I'm not a hater of the movie, but I'm glad that it didn't get the recognition that matched the hype when it came out.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean it just being nominated is enough. Like, and I think we talked about in the last podcast that I was actually really happy to see De Niro didn't get the nomination for Best
Yeah.
Actor, because I was like, dude, this is nothing new for him. It's not some
No.
challenging, like, he did great in the role, but I was like, there was so many other great performances that his was just kind of.
Yeah,
I'm glad to see it went the way it went.
Yeah, I'm also glad. So let's go to
Yeah.
film editing. We have Ford vs Ferrari, Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, and Parasite.
So this one,
yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
what do you think? This one was kind of hard for me. This was like I literally have the one I circled and I crossed it out and then I circled another one. So, because I ended up going with the action movie. I ended up going with Ford versus Ferrari.
You know, I haven't seen Ford vs Ferrari, but from seeing clips of it and stuff, I almost think that would be the obvious choice.
Yeah. The only reason I picked into, because I did pick Parasite just because, I mean, the movie's so good, it flows so well.
It
Like,
is.
it's just like,
I just watched it, man.
yeah.
And you know, it's rare that I stay away from spoilers from big movies like that one, but I did, and I went in there completely blind, not knowing what I was getting myself into. And
Yeah.
man, it's like so many genres in one movie. Like it went from like this good feeling, you know, like maybe like
Yeah.
I don't even know how to describe it, but then it gets into like this thriller portion of it, and
Dude, yeah.
it's
That's
man,
what
I was really impressed with
it's
that movie.
like, it is. It's a comedy,
Yeah,
and then it's like a film, and then it's like an act, like, and then it's horror, like, then it's
Yeah.
drama, like,
Yeah.
literally, it's every single thing kind of like meshed into like this perfectly flowing story.
yeah.
That's like, yeah, I mean, it's just super well done. Like, it's very, that whole scene in the like the living room when they're like hiding under the table and the family comes back from like their camping trip. Like,
Yeah.
dude, that scene was so intense. Like, I was literally on the edge of my seat
I
for
know.
that. And like, you're just like,
Especially when
I mean,
when the dad crawls out from underneath and he almost gets caught. He's just laying there. I was like, oh man.
so good. So good. I mean, that movie, like, people keep saying it could possibly win Best Picture this year. I don't think that's going to happen, but it'll definitely win foreign film.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so that's why I did have that as Parasite for film editing, but then I went with Ford versus Ferrari purely because I kind of looked back at like past winners and past nominees, and it tends to be given to more action movies.
Yeah.
And the editing in Ford versus Ferrari, it was just, it was so, I mean, the race scene, like everything about it was really well done. And then it's like those race scenes, like to cut those together, like it just kind of seemed to be at least for me, like a better of all the ones nominated, kind of the one that had the most like engaging editing, like where you actually were kind of focused on what was actually the editing kind of made the scenes. And so that's the only reason I picked that one.
Yeah, it makes sense.
But and I don't know.
Yeah, that's kind of a toss-up right there, because I mean, I guess Joker could get it too, because some of that editing was really well done too.
Yeah, I mean, all of them. I guess that's why they're all nominated. Because the only one I do not understand why it's nominated is The Irishman, because it didn't seem like they edited anything.
No, yeah, that's why it was so long, because it was just like they threw everything on there.
No, but I mean, they were kind of more talking about like how the scenes are cut together, because even that last scene, like but yeah, I mean, I feel like most of the stuff with The Irishman being nominated is more just out of respect rather than like the actual like real talent that was involved in it. But
yeah,
that could be kind of disrespectful even saying that.
So I know I probably could guess what you're gonna pick for production design though, but which one do you have on there?
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah,
that's the one. Yeah. I feel like it's gonna take it. I mean, I can't imagine
I'm
any of
looking
the other ones.
At all the nominations and stuff, and it looks like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood could win a lot of them.
I hope so. I mean, that's the one I want to win most of them. But yeah, like that for that one specifically, production design. I mean, Jojo Rabbit was really beautiful and kind of put together well, and the house was styled. Like the way it all looked was, I really enjoyed Jojo Rabbit's visuals, and like but Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I mean, just the details on everything were just so perfect that I feel like it's pretty much a lock. That's gonna take it.
The other ones are The Irishman, 1917, Parasite, and Jojo Rabbit. I think it's gonna be Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I think that was pretty easy, actually.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much a lock to win that one.
Next one, we got cinematography. We got 1917, The Lighthouse, The Irishman, Joker, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Man, which one did you get?
1917. I mean, most of that movie is kind of heavily reliant on all the visuals and all. Yeah. It's just the direct. So yeah, I mean, I feel like that's pretty much a lock for. I mean, God, man, that movie. I mean, it's literally all about the cinematography. That one scene. Have you seen it yet?
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh man, there's one scene where it's like our hero. It's just like a English guy, a kid from like from World War I. He is on this trek, like to warn his people about this attack they're going to go on. And as he's traveling there, he ends up bumping into these two enemy soldiers, and one of them's in a very dark kind of wrecked, it might even be like a church or something like that. Mm-hmm. And one of the guys is drunk, and he's maybe like 100 yards away, and the other guy's like a young guy, and he goes to take a piss, and he sees him, and so this whole fight happens, but it happens in the shadows, and so he's trying to like keep it quiet so the other guy doesn't hear him. This whole scene, like how it's shot, is so unbelievable, and it just messes with light and shadow like so well, and it's so intense that I'm like, just visually, it's unbelievable.
Yeah,
so
I mean, from everything what I hear, I would have picked The Lighthouse. The Lighthouse, 1917, anyways, just because they have that running shot the whole film, and I would think that's the one.
I mean, even Joker's cinematography was absolutely stunning, though. The Irishman cinematography. I mean, honestly, this was The Lighthouse too. Like, literally, the best thing I think about The Lighthouse was the cinematography. Like, it was just. I mean, I'm glad it got the recognition for that, because I don't think it got nominated for anything else. And I wasn't a huge fan of The Lighthouse, and a lot of other people really are. But the direction and the cinematography in The Lighthouse and the acting, yeah, I mean, it's it's a well-made movie. Like, I can't ever take that away from it. I just couldn't fully get into the story and how long it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, seeing it nominated for cinematography I'm happy to see that happen as well.
I'm telling you, I'm trying to catch up on some of these movies, and The Lighthouse was one of the options last night. But I saw Honey Boy was finally up, and I chose to watch that instead.
Yeah. I mean, Lighthouse, like, that's the thing is, like, it's hard for me to keep saying negative things about it because people love it so much.
Yeah.
But it's just, dude, if you have options to see these other movies, when I'm watching The Lighthouse, I'm like, dude, it's long and it's not super engaging. And I get that it's beautiful and cinema lovers love it because it's very cinematic and like it's like a cinephile's movie.
Yeah.
But to me, those aren't always the best movies. Like, I don't know.
Right.
Oh my God! Did I tell you? This is totally off subject, but I saw the new Birds of Prey movie.
No, I think I saw you post something about it, though, that you were gonna watch it or you had watched it.
I watched it. Well, so before the movie, so as I was sitting in the theater, like the Warner Brothers logo pops up, and then Cinecopy pops up with Christopher Nolan's company. I was just like, I didn't know he had anything to do with Birds of Prey. And then it like starts going, and I was just like, damn, I'm like, this movie looks beautiful. Like the way it's shot and everything. I'm like, this is Birds of Prey. I'm like, oh, because it got really good reviews. So I'm like, oh man, this like looks really good. And it kind of keeps going, and the intensity starts building up, and I'm like, and then it kind of cuts to outside, and you see Denzel Washington's son, and I'm like, oh shit. This is Tenet. Like, they're giving us the prologue for Tenet right now. And all of a sudden I was just like, oh my God. And like, dude, it's insane. I'm like, dude, Christopher Nolan, like, I always wonder how he's going to top himself. And like this first, it's only like a 10-minute, like kind of intro, like prologue to the movie. Unbelievable. Like, I was just like, the second it ended, I'm like, God, I can't wait now. I just want this movie so bad. But I was just so pumped because I was completely not expecting it. And then it was way better than I even thought it could be. So, it's literally worth going to see Birds of Prey just to see that 10-minute intro to Tenet. So.
And what way do you end up thinking of Birds of Prey? Just quick, did you like it or you didn't?
No, I hated it. I did. I mean, that's the thing is, it's not a good movie. Like, it's really not. But it's not even supposed to be. It's so just kind of ridiculous. Yeah. But people are like praising it. It's like 86 from critics, and like audiences are loving it. I'm just like, I don't understand. But even the critics, like, all, because it got an 86 from critics, but it's only getting like a 6 out of 10 from them, so it's still like rated like a positive review. So everyone's kind of rating it positive, but they're not saying it's like a 9 out of 10 movie, which it isn't. So it's like, that's the thing with Rotten Tomatoes, is it can skew things, making it look better than it is. But so now it's given these people who are fans of the movie like a voice, like, it's 86, critics love it, so we love it more. And I'm like, it's not, dude. It's fun. Like, it's a fun movie, but it's not a good movie.
I get it. That's how I felt about that TV show, The Witcher. Everybody seems to like that TV show, and I hated it. I couldn't. I didn't even want to finish it, but I ended up finishing just to watch it. And I don't like
really.
it.
I made it through half the first episode, and I was like, nope.
I pushed myself through to watch it just so I could be able to at least talk about it. But man, I hated that TV show.
That's why it's hard for me to start shows sometimes too, because I have that thing where I'm like, oh, I started it, you got to finish it. And I'm like, but now I don't have enough time to where I can tell pretty quickly if I'm going to be into something. I'm like, this isn't it.
Let's move on to costume design. There's The Irishman, Little Woman, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood are nominated for this one. I think Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
So this one I was hard to. I mean, I want that one to win, obviously, but I put Little Women just because it's a period film. They kind of like, the costumes are all very well done, that they're beautiful. Like, it's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I want that one to win, but I don't. It could. I don't know. Honestly, I just put Little Women more just because it's period films just tend to win it.
Yeah, they do.
More kind of like you have to. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, well,
but
I thought Once Upon a Time, it's just because it just all this like the costume design just throws you into that era. And, like you don't see anything that's off. It's like.
Yeah, even the hair, like all of it, like everything about that movie is very like. Yeah, I mean, it could definitely win it, and I would not be upset if it did.
Well, you mentioned the hair. We got hair and makeup next, with Bombshell, Joker, Maleficent, Judy, and 1917 nominated.
Mm-hmm. I put Bombshell for this just because they're literally making people look like real people. And I mean, you could say that for Judy too. Judy might be able to take it. I don't even know. I mean, some of these categories, it's just, I'm throwing a dart at a board.
Yeah,
like I don't really know. But that one, I don't even have a good reason I went with Bombshell. I just kind of went with it.
Yeah. Next one, we have, sound mixing. We have Ad Astra, Ford vs Ferrari, Joker, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood nominated.
Yeah.
I know I started watching Ad Astra.
Which one?
I started watching Ad Astra, but I haven't finished it. But I would think 1917.
Yeah, I think so. I think like most of the stuff that 1917 gets nominated for that has to do with like technical things.
Yeah,
it'll probably win it just because it seems to be the kind of front runner on almost everything, which is really strange because like I understand it winning Best Director and Best Cinematography. And people have it winning Best Picture, and it seems to be winning most of the Best Picture like awards, and I don't understand it. Like I really don't get why people, and I loved it. Like I really genuinely liked that movie, but it's not things we haven't seen before. It's like a different version of what we've seen before, and the story isn't that great. Like it's fine. Like it's a good story, but it's not like, I mean, when I think of Parasite or Once Upon a Time, almost every other movie nominated, I don't know why it's so the front runner to win Best Picture. Like I really don't understand it, other than the Academy just always loves war movies.
Yeah.
But I actually don't have that winning Best Picture. For some reason, that's saying that it's not going to win it. But it could, because it keeps winning almost every single other award for Best Picture. So, yeah. But I think all the technical stuff, like the sound mixing, sound design, that'll all go to 1917, just purely because it's a technically incredible film. So
sound editing is the next one, which has Ford vs Ferrari, Joker, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Star Wars: Rise of Skywalker. Star Wars is known for winning these sound editing, sound mixing awards. Yep. So I just don't know about this year though. I would think probably 1917 wins it for sound editing as well.
Me too. I mean, that's what I put to win it. But yeah, I mean, most years it tends to be bigger. Like, I mean, war movies either get it or the kind of the big sci-fi movies would get it, like Star Wars or Avengers, like that. Because it's like when you think about all the action that's going on, like getting all those sounds mixed together and have it feel realistic, like that's I mean, that's why those movies tend to get it. But
now I know a lot of people get these, or maybe don't know the difference between sound editing and sound mixing. And most of the years is the same kind of people or same films that are nominated. But for those who don't know, I guess, or might be, and you can correct me, but sound mixing is basically the whole sound. So you'll get theme music and action sounds and any kind of sound mixed. So that's kind of layered. And then editing is just the creation of sound. Am I right?
Basically, yeah. I mean, sound, pretty much. So sound editing, I believe, is just kind of. Actually, I'm not even 100% sure the exact the difference between the two.
Yeah, I think From what I remember, sound editing is just like the creation of sound when it's not even like there, you know. So like I don't know,
like footsteps or bullets or like things hitting metal or like
stuff like that, like paper, like when someone's reading through a book or something like that. And then sound mixing is like the whole thing, so you'll get those sound effects and the music and everything. Then we got an original song. And I don't know. I haven't even read through these yet. I can't. One of them is I can't let you know. Oh, I can't let you throw yourself away. Toy Story 4. I'm standing with you. Breakthrough, Into the Unknown, Frozen 2, and then there's Love Me Again, Rocket Man, and Stand Up, Harriet. I have no idea.
I just put Rocket Man just because I don't know. I just feel like it's Elton John's big song. It's gonna win. Like none of the other songs seem to really make any sort of waves this year. Like normally, if it was like if Frozen 2 had as big a song as the first one, I'm sure that would be kind of everywhere. But I honestly don't even know a song from Frozen 2. Like I didn't see it, but
like at least the first one, you were able to hear like even if you didn't watch the movie, you heard about the music.
It was everywhere. It drove me insane. That's actually why I didn't see Frozen 2 is because I just didn't want to have to deal with another song from that movie. But I think it's going to be Love Me Again from Rocket Man just because it's that movie was just, I mean, it's a musical and it was great. Honestly, that was like I actually liked that one more than Bohemian Rhapsody and I just thought it was more fun. It was kind of like a better put together movie. And then that song was great in it. So that's the one I went with.
Yeah. Then we have original score. We have the nominees are 1917, Joker, Little Woman, Marriage Story, Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker.
Which one did you go for this one?
I would think maybe Star Wars gets it.
See, I put Joker just because, one, it's a female composer, and I think one they're gonna give her some recognition, which is much deserved.
Yeah,
and that score for that movie, man, is just so heavy and so intense. It really added like a whole. I mean, dude, anyone who talks shit on Joker, I don't understand it because that movie is so well made. Like.
Yeah,
dude, even costume design, cinematography, the score, like direction, everything about it, like how great that movie really is I mean, it's clearly not undervalued because it's made over $1 billion, but I'm like, the people who like want to just write it off as like a comic book movie, I'm like, it is not. Like, it is definitely a very well made movie, and especially on such a low budget that I feel like it's not going to win. I mean, it'll win a few awards, but I think that one, I'm pretty sure she's going to win it.
I've said that the Joker's probably only downside is that, to me, it didn't even have to be the Joker. It could have been anybody else, any other character is what I'm saying. And it still would have been a great film, but I guess that just goes to show you it's just a good film and it's not really a superhero or super villain thing, you know?
Not at all. Yeah. I mean, they basically disguised a mental health movie in the vein of a comic book movie just to let it a mass audience and for people to show up to it, which is really impressive.
It is.
Yeah.
Original score. Joker has a good chance. I mean, and you know what? Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, now that I think about it, doesn't have crazy originality because they've been using the same kind of music or score throughout the whole 3 movies that they already had. So but it is John Williams, and he always wins. So
John Williams he's kind of like Meryl Streep. Like he's just gonna dominate it. And like I feel like the Academy, I think he has the most nominations of any person in history for any category. But I just feel like it's not going to win purely because he's won a few times before.
Yeah.
And when he gets like a really iconic score, I think this one is kind of more, I out of respect as well, then it is to everything he does. Of course, it's like Meryl Streep. Like they just don't turn in bad performances. Like of course he's going to get nominated. I just think this one they're going to give to Joker just because. She's like, I think it's the first female composer maybe ever to be nominated as well. Yeah. And she killed it. She just did a really great job. So I don't know why. I just think that one will win it, but it could be something else.
International feature film. What is that? Corpus Christi, Honeyland, Les Miserables, and Pain and Glory, and Parasite. I think Parasite's gonna win this one.
Parasite for sure. Yeah. Like there's zero question that one's taking it. Yeah. So yeah.
And then after that we got documentary feature. American Factory, The Cave, The Edge of Democracy, For Sama, is that what it is? And Honeyland.
For Sama, yeah. And Honeyland. This one I put American Factory, the Netflix documentary.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
I've seen part of it. And I haven't been able to finish it yet. And then the rest of them I haven't seen.
I've seen For Sama, Honeyland. I haven't seen The Edge of Democracy or The Cave, but I feel like American Factory is going to win it. Dude, it's one of my favorite documentaries I've ever seen. It's hilarious. Like, it's also super insightful and very, like, it's basically this Japanese, I think it's Japanese or Chinese company comes in and buys up like an American factory that went under.
Yeah.
And so it's like a glass factory, like they make windshields, and it's the integration of these two cultures, like having to work together under new management also. Dude, it's fascinating. Like it's just seeing these two work together, like in just these two different cultures trying to meld, especially like in a workplace.
Yeah.
And then they go back to, I want to say I think it's China that they go back to. It might be Japan, but and so the American, like, basically management team, they go back to China at one point, and you kind of see just the difference in cultures. Like it's actually hilarious. Like it's super insightful too. But I think that one's gonna win it.
And after that, we got animated feature, How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden World, I Lost My Body, Claws, Missing Link, and Toy Story 4. The only one I haven't seen is Lost My Body. I Lost My Body.
Yeah. I saw that one. People really liked it, but I wasn't as big a fan of that one as others seem to be. I put Toy Story 4 to win that one just because it's Pixar. Yeah. They pretty much take it nearly every, and it was just the best one I saw this year, to be honest.
Yeah. Toy Story 4. How to Train Your Dragon was pretty good.
Yeah.
And Missing Link was good. I think I would go with Missing Link.
Missing Link, that's the only one I actually haven't seen. And like I love Laika's stuff, and I don't know why I just haven't made time to watch that one yet. But I mean, it could. Like they Laika always does really good stuff.
Yeah.
Did you see that one yet? You saw Missing Link?
I did see Missing Link. It's pretty good. I mean, I saw it a while ago. It feels like it wasn't even this year. It must have been way in the beginning of the year.
But it showed up.
Yeah.
I put Toy Story 4, but honestly, I mean, just the fact it is Toy Story 4, it probably might not even win it just because it's the fourth movie, and and it wasn't even the best of the.
It wasn't the best one. No.
Yeah. But I don't know why. I always just think Pixar kind of takes it every year. It's like nominated, but
yeah.
And
then we got adaptive screenplay with The Irishman, Joker, Jojo Rabbit, Little Woman, and The Two Popes.
This one I went with Jojo Rabbit for Taika Waititi. This could be hard because I don't think they're going to give it to Greta Gerwig for Little Women. Maybe because she really did do a pretty insightful, really well done version of like kind of like a twist on Little Women.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just think Taika Waititi for Jojo Rabbit is just it's so unique and so well done. And I would love to see him get recognized for that movie that I want him to win it so bad that's why I put him.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Mhm.
Now we're getting into the meteor
The big
awards.
stuff.
Original screenplay nominations are Knives Out, 1917, Marriage Story, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Parasite. Man, this is a hard one. They're getting more difficult.
And dude, honestly, I don't think 1917 will win this one.
I don't think
Knives
so
Out is super well done. Marriage Story is super well done. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I mean, it's Tarantino with an original screenplay, and then Parasite. I have no idea who's actually going to win this because of those four, I wouldn't be upset about any of them, but I just went with Parasite just because it's just so original. But
Yeah.
that's
what I put down too. I don't know if it's because I just recently saw it.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, I really enjoyed Marriage Story, but Parasite is probably a better film than Marriage Story.
Yeah, it is.
And Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I think it would be within Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and Parasite, but I think
Me too.
Parasite just gives...
I just don't think they're going to give it to Tarantino again because he's won a few times, I think 2 times now for original screenplay.
Yeah.
And I just, maybe they'd give it to him again, but I for whatever reason, just think Parasite will kind of take this one. But I mean, it could go to Tarantino again, and if it does, I would not be upset.
I wouldn't be upset either.
Yeah.
Then we have actor in the supporting role, Brad Pitt for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Al Pacino for The Irishman, Joe Pesci for The Irishman, Anthony Hopkins for Two Popes, Tom Hanks, A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood.
Yeah.
I think Brad Pitt, he's been winning every award.
He's winning everything, man.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like his speeches have been so incredible too. So did you see the one, like, I think it was the BAFTA awards, like the British film.
Is that where they read for him? Margot Robbie read it for him?
Margot Robbie came up and gave his speech for him because he couldn't be there. So she actually read his speech. Did you see that one?
I saw it, but I haven't actually listened to the speech yet.
Dude, listen to it. It's hilarious. Like, dude, he's just, I mean, I love Brad Pitt. He's been my favorite actors for forever.
Yeah.
And so seeing him finally get an acting award, and especially, dude, when I first saw this movie, and it's like, dude, it was, before it came out, it was DiCaprio and Brad Pitt in a movie. And dude, DiCaprio is just always nominated for Best Actor. He's clearly a more kind of prestigious actor, where Brad Pitt is fun to watch. He's always in great movies. He's badass. But dude, when you're seeing these two iconic actors show up in a film, and the fact that Brad Pitt even outshined Leonardo DiCaprio, I was like, dude, it just kind of solidified his legend of just he's just a badass. Anything he's in, he just always is the brightest star. Every time he's just that magnetic and that good. And when you met Cliff Booth, that character, I loved it so much. And yeah, to see him getting all these awards now, to me, it's just it's my little kid, this dream kind of come true. And hearing all his speeches, dude, he just kills me. So hearing him do his speech for the Oscars tomorrow, it's going to be the highlight of the show for me. I literally can't wait.
Yeah, definitely. One of the surprises for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was that Brad Pitt outshined DiCaprio.
Dude, so good. I mean, his character was just so hilarious.
Honestly, I thought
every scene he was in was the best scene in the movie.
Going into the movie, I figured it was a DiCaprio movie, but to me it was a Brad Pitt movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, he literally carried, as much as I love DiCaprio in that film, dude, and Brad Pitt just had, and not even the better role, he just was so. I mean, I can't speak more highly about a movie than Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I loved it so much, and I still do. I watch it, God, man, at least once a month, even since it's been out now. I've seen it 7 times, and it's just, I'll just leave it on in the background because I just like listening to them talk. It's so good.
So
seeing him win it, like it's going to be. I cannot wait for that moment just to hear him give his speech tomorrow.
Yeah, that one's gonna be good.
Actors in a supporting role is the next one. Kathy Bates, Richard Jewell, Laura Dern, Marriage Story, Scarlett Johansson, Jojo Rabbit, Florence Pugh, Little Woman, and Margot Robbie, Bombshell.
Mm-hmm.
I would want to go with Scarlett Johansson with Jojo Rabbit
for this one.
What was it?
That's who I want. Well, I really want Scarlett Johansson to win for Best Actress for Marriage Story, but I feel like Laura Dern, I think it's just her time to. This one,
Laura Dern has won a couple awards for it already, hasn't she?
I don't think so. I don't think she's ever won anything. I think she's been nominated like once or twice, but I think this is like the year she's actually going to take it. And the thing with this movie is she's so good at playing just that like bitchy anger, like kind of like it's her character in like Big Little Lies, like, and she's just like good at being that obnoxious, just old, like rich white woman. Yeah. And in Marriage Story, it's kind of the culmination of like her best talents. Yep. And so, yeah, I mean, I feel like they're just going to give it to her this year. And she seems to be winning it almost everywhere that I've seen. So I feel like she's going to take it. Yeah. But I do think Scarlett Johansson had the better role in Jojo Rabbit. Did you see Jojo Rabbit?
I haven't yet.
Oh, dude. Like, I can't wait for you to see that and tell me about it. Because, like, there's a scene where it's almost like something out of, like, a silent film where she, like, she's in a fight with Jojo, like, her son, and she is like, well, if you're, like, because the father's, like, gone, he's off to war, and he hasn't been back for a while, and so she wants to, like, yell at him, but she's like, you'd only listen to me if I was your father. Yeah. So she goes into the fireplace and takes, like, soot and puts it on her face. And she acts like the father. She starts playing like the mother role and the father role. And that scene is so touching and so well done. And like that alone, I kind of wish she would win for. Because, dude, Scarlett Johansson, how people aren't talking about her more this year. I'm like, dude, she was nominated for Best Supporting Actress in Jojo Rabbit, which she was incredible for. She was incredible in Marriage Story, where she like caught off her hair, made herself unattractive, and killed it in that role. And then she's in the biggest movie of all time in Avengers Endgame. And I'm like, how is this not her year? How is she not the one that everyone's talking about?
That's why I want her to win something. I mean, if it's not supporting actress, I want her to win leading role. But...
Yeah. And like, even like, I really want her to win over Renee Zellweger for Best Actress. Because dude, I just really thought she was incredible in Marriage Story. Like, she really was. And she was really good. Like, the fact that I feel like she just doesn't get enough credibility as the talent because she's absolutely beautiful. And then she's also in action movies and kind of bigger comic book films. But dude, when she does these like small independent films, she always kills it. Like, she always does a good job. And I just want her to get recognized.
At this point, we know. Bad. Yeah, at this point, we know she could do it all because she's good in everything. Yeah.
She's incredible. Yeah, and she sings, man. She's like records too, and she's a great singer. Like, dude, I want her to like really. I don't know why. I just want her to get an Oscar so bad, and I wish this was the year she was doing it. But it just seems I don't even know why people aren't talking about it more. Like, I feel like she's like not talked about really at all, and I'm like, I wish. Yeah, I would.
If she doesn't win anything, I feel like that would be the biggest snub of the Oscars.
Yeah, dude, me too. I genuinely really think that should be her year. Yeah. But I mean, what more does a person need to do? Right. The biggest movie of all time, nominated both categories, and she's not going to win it? Like, I was like, dude, yeah, that to me is crazy.
So then we got an actor in a leading role, Joaquin Phoenix for Joker, DiCaprio for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Antonio Banderas for Pain and Glory, Adam Driver, Marriage Story, Jonathan Pryce, Two Popes. I mean,
I went, well, of course, Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah,
but is that what you went with too?
No, I that's the obvious choice. I kind of just I would want Adam Driver to win it.
Me too. That's who I want to win it. No, I don't. Okay, I don't want him to win it. I believe Joker is clearly the better role. It's a meteor thing. Like, it's like there's more to do with it. Like, because Adam Driver's it's not a glamorous role. He kills it. He just plays a normal, regular guy, but it's so raw, so real, and he just does an incredible job.
Yeah.
And like we were saying, he's in Star Wars. He was in two other movies this year. He's in 4 movies total. All of them he was fantastic in. Yeah. And the only reason I want him to win more is purely out of respect for kind of Heath Ledger. Like, I feel like it's very strange giving an award for the same film, basically the same role, to another actor. But it seems like Joaquin's just kind of, I mean, it is the better role. Like, it just is. So I understand why he's winning it. It just, to me, feels weird having him win it.
I just like how original the character is, and then how raw it was. Like, I mean, Adam Driver's in Marriage Story.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could say the same thing about Joaquin Phoenix and Joker, but it's already a known character.
Yeah.
Many people have played it. And,
yeah.
I don't know. Marriage Story was just...
Adam Driver, I initially had him. This is purely based off of like who I actually think is going to win too, which it just kind of seems like it's going to be Phoenix. But if I had a vote, like if I was in the Academy, I would vote for Adam Driver. Like that's who I personally would want to win it. But I don't know. I feel like Phoenix is just going to take it just because it seems like people don't care that.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like they do.
No, I mean, because he keeps winning for everything else. So it's not like there isn't that thing of like, oh, is it controversial that he's winning for the same role? But it just seems like people don't give a shit.
Between Phoenix and Driver, though. I think it's between them two.
Yeah.
I hope Adam Driver gets it. I think that'll be awesome if he does win it. I mean, that would be a surprise for sure. I hope
that could be the kind of the coolest upset is seeing Driver take, because it kind of seems like most things are pretty well locked down this year from what I could tell.
Yeah. That
if there is an upset, I don't know. I can't really see, because it's not going to be Brad Pitt. It's not going to lose it. It's either going to be Best Actor or Best Actress. Like, I think one of those two, or Best Picture. I think of those three, the major awards, there could be an upset. Like, there could be something that people just aren't expecting. And because Renee Zellweger seems to be a lock for Best Actress, because she's literally won, I think, every single other award she's been nominated for.
Which is the next category, is actress in a leading role. It's Cynthia Erivo for Harriet, Scarlett Johansson's Marriage Story. I can't pronounce her name. I know I've seen it so many times.
It's like Saoirse Ronan.
Yeah, for Little Woman, Charlize Theron for Bombshell, and Renee Zellweger for Judy.
Yeah, this one.
This is where I wish Scarlett Johansson would win.
Me too. I mean, I want her to win so bad. And did you see Renee Zellweger's speech at the Golden Globes?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
So Renee Zellweger, she's clearly kind of been gone for a while. She had that surgery, her eye surgery that just kind of made her look like a different person. Yeah. And she clearly was not getting the roles she was before, when she was younger. And she's had some turmoil in her life, obviously, the last few years. So the fact she's getting nominated for Judy right now, and don't get me wrong, she kills it. She does a really great job. But when she won the award, she came up bitter as hell. She was not pleasant. She was very just good to see you guys again. I haven't been around for a while. I was just oh, she's angry. She is not so it was this weird thing kind of because you think she would just be grateful and it's oh my God, thank you guys so much. I'm back. It's I've been along, but she is clearly pissed. She is not happy that Hollywood has treated her so poorly, and like there's definitely some resentment there, and she keeps winning the award, but I don't know why.
Yeah.
I feel like she might lose it, like
just because of that, possibly, yeah. Because after all, it is a show. You want to put up, some entertainment up there. So maybe I don't know. We'll see.
Remember when what's his name? God, I always forget his name. He was in the movie The Wrestler. Mickey Rourke was like winning all the awards for The Wrestler, and like, dude, he's kind of the same thing. He has like clearly had a ton of plastic surgery. He looks like a train wreck. He's gone through clearly has mental health issues, all that stuff. And a lot of people think it's because when he was a boxer, like he actually has CTE, like he got some brain damage. And so when he was winning nonstop for The Wrestler, he ended up losing the Academy Award to Sean Penn for Milk. Dude, that upset was so. I mean, to me, it was just like, oh my god, man! It was like just like a gut punch. Like you could just see him like kind of like crumble like right there. But then, and I don't know why, but I feel like that might happen this year again with Renee Zellweger and Scarlett Johansson. But I will be actually really happy if that happens. So
I would too. I want her to win. Then we got directing. Bong. How do you pronounce his name? Do you know how? Bong Joon-ho.
Bong Joon-ho. Yeah.
Yeah. For Parasite, Sam Mendes, 1917, Todd Phillips, Joker, Martin Scorsese, The Irishman, and Quentin Tarantino, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I mean, I think it's gonna be Tarantino, or I don't know, man. Parasite was really good too.
I think it's going to be Sam Mendes actually for this one. Like just
yeah, because 19.
I think he's going to purely because like again the reason this movie is being so well received and the reason it's all about the direction and the cinematography. Like just the fact when you saw Birdman, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Birdman was like it looked like it was one continuous flowing shot, and it was like super, like it was very kind of ingenious, like lot of planning, a lot of execution. And so, but that movie was like in a theater, like in a playhouse, and like then on the streets of New York and stuff.
Yeah.
But dude, when you think about trying to execute a one continuous shot war film with like explosions and chaos and stuff going on, I'm like, the amount of planning and execution, like it's insane. And like Sam Mendes is probably my favorite visual director. Like the way he frames things, like dude, Skyfall, like when I look at that, or even Road to Perdition, like every single shot of those movies, they look like, dude, like it could be a still photograph. They're absolutely beautiful. And I feel like with 1917, like he really wanted to challenge himself. I really think the only reason he did it as one continuous shot is he was just looking for like, he's just such a talented director that I think he was looking for a way to literally just give himself a new challenge. And I think he absolutely killed it. So I think he'll take Best Director purely because directors are the ones voting for it. And when you see what he accomplished, they're going to be like, dude, you just destroyed, like you just elevated the bar so high that I think he's getting a lot of respect purely for that from his fellow filmmakers.
Yeah, you might be 100% correct. And then the last one is the big one. Best Picture: Ford vs Ferrari, The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, Little Woman, Marriage Story, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Parasite. Man, there's just so many good ones.
Such a good this year. Movies, man.
This year is like, it's been crazy because of course I've been late to all these movies, but it's been like, when I first watched Marriage Story, I was like, oh, this is gonna be the top one for me. And then I watched Joker, and then that took over, and then now Parasite that took over. I'm like, oh, it's so hard.
It is hard.
The only one I could right away probably say I wouldn't pick is The Irishman.
No, it's not going to win it.
And like Little Woman.
Ferrari's not going to win it. The Irishman's not going to win it. Jojo Rabbit, I love that movie a lot. It's not going to win it. Joker, it's not going to win. But
I don't think he's going to win.
It's definitely like top 3 or 4. Little Women won't win, but dude, every single one of these movies are great. They're all fantastic movies. Marriage Story was incredible. So most people think 1917 is going to win.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. I honestly don't get. I don't think it's the best movie of the year. I do think direction and cinematography, absolutely, but it's not the best story. Like, it really isn't. Like, and it's not. It did elevate film. I get what it did. People are calling it a gimmick, which I don't think it's that. But for me, it's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood or Parasite. And Parasite is going to win best. Well, it'll be like, so last year, Roma, everyone thought was going to win best picture. I'm like, dude, they're not going to give it. Well, one, it was a Netflix film, which they weren't going to let that win best picture. And it was a foreign film, so it wasn't going to win a foreign film and best picture. And I kind of knew it wasn't. And that's why Green Book ended up winning. And this year, for me, it's between Parasite. I just don't think it's going to win. It's 1917 or Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And I don't know why I have this gut feeling that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood's going to take it. Like, I want that to happen too.
To me, I would think it would be between Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and Parasite. But Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is a kind of a filmmaker's movie. So I would think that's what people would gravitate to.
Me too. I mean, especially because people in Hollywood love that movie. They really love it. Like, they love, and it's Tarantino's second to last film. Like, I want it to win more than anything. Like, I want it to win really bad. So my view is definitely skewed towards it winning. But yeah, I mean, it's 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood or Parasite. In 1917, it's won almost every award for Best Picture. And I don't really understand it. Like, I don't get why it just kind of, and don't get me wrong, like, it's fantastic. I love that movie, but I just don't think it should win Best Picture. I don't think it's anything that new or original other than the direction.
I mean, if I was to be voting, I think I would vote for Parasite.
Yeah. And so some people are saying that they think it's going to win it. Like, but I don't know. I just think it's going to be Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I really do.
Another thing is, with the whole backlash of the Oscars right now with inclusion and all this stuff, we might be seeing Parasite win just because of that.
That's true. Yeah. That is true. I mean, because it is. No one really knows how everyone thinks in Hollywood, because it's not how the rest of the world thinks about anything. Because there's it's just it's kind of like a batshit crazy town there. And so, yeah, like, you don't know what is skewing them more. Is it the inclusion aspect? Is it like the actual best film of the year? Like, you really never know how, because it's literally because 1917 is definitely old white men love war movies. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is Hollywood being obsessed with itself and loving the fact it's Hollywood. And then Parasite is the whole inclusion aspect of it is clearly probably the best movie of the year. And it's also checking all their boxes of just it's Asian, it's all minorities, all that stuff. So literally, it's completely up in the air of
Hollywood
what's the majority and how do these people think? Yeah.
It's you never know what's driving them, because I don't know. But I mean, it could. I don't. I'm gonna put down Parasite. I would want to see that one win, but.
That's cool. Yeah, I mean, I obviously have a soft spot for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, so that's what I'm going for. And the only reason just because I know Parasite's going to win Best Foreign Film, I don't know, it's.
So you're going to be posting, I'm sure, on your Instagram page as
That's
the
what I'm
show
gonna do.
goes
Is the
on.
whole rest of the day today, I'm literally everything we just talked about. Now I have to write it all down and put it on the Instagram, which is really obnoxious. Yeah.
And you see, like what I get, what I'm probably gonna do is just cut clips of this and post that.
Nice. That's smart. I wish I could do that.
I know. Here, don't forget to follow Lucas Parker at Lucky Boy Reviews on Instagram and on Facebook, right?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook also.
Yeah.
I never checked that one, but I'm on there.
Yeah. And don't forget to listen to No Time for Movies on any of your favorite podcast platform, or you can find me on Instagram on for No Time for Movies, and on Facebook as well at No Time for Movies. And thank you for being here, Lucas.
Thank you. That was
I can't
awesome.
wait for the Oscar show and see all your posts.
It's gonna be a long couple days.
Yeah.